Already, we're live. And let me see if the camera is all right. It's weird. It's flipped. It's mirrored. I don't know how to change this. But anyways, I'm not here to look pretty. So I thought that I would show you the LinkedIn technique or a LinkedIn software that actually automated the whole outreach process for me. And and that honestly brought me really good results. So like we're talking, so like before I started, I had about maybe less than 500, like 400 connections, and then using that thing, after a while, I had about over like 1,000 connections. Now, I don't automate all the connection requests, and it's great for creating LinkedIn campaigns. Like you want to automate all the stuff. Hey, Aaron, good to see you, brother. You're the only one. Look at you. Uh, cool. So, Aaron, we're doing the LinkedIn thing again, and I want to actually show you how you can automate because you're doing the same thing. Maybe you can use this software. I'm not really sure about this software, but you can use a software that does the same thing. So, let me share my screen. And I was saying that when I started using this software, it was like I had about less than 400 connections, and now I'm over 1,000, and I've been able to book a lot of meetings with that and having to do nothing at all. And I'm going to show you the whole process. So if you can see my screen, we're using a software called Sales Robot. I bought this from AppSumo. It was a lifetime deal. The funny thing about these lifetime software that I've been realizing lately that they only work for a little while. They make you pay for a one-time payment forever, but they don't work forever. So it's basically like you can break that number down into months. This thing only worked for like 4 or 5 months, and I paid a lot of money for it. So it's no bueno right now. But I don't think these numbers matter. But if there's any founder if watches, I just so you know, I don't do this anymore. I send personalized, manual connection requests, and it's nothing is automated. But the main sauce is here. So as you can see, I've run quite a few campaigns, and the numbers are pretty good. So like back in the days, I used to have Sales Navigator as well, so that helped with finding the right profiles, the ones that you actually want to target. And yeah, so I've seen it goes pretty well with that. So now let's take an example of this campaign. This has been pretty good. As you can see the results, we've got 143 requests accepted, and out of those, we got 25 replies. And I can say that we've got about like 8 to 9 meetings from this. So like if you're looking at book meetings on autopilot, you probably want something like this. And I shared in my previous video that what do you want to say when you send a request? And Aaron got that pretty darn spot on, and he sent me the request. That cool to see what you guys are doing at company name. I learned some of that from this software, so I got to give credit to this. In this, I haven't written anything, but like you have AI to read it all, and you can configure. But like that first thing that I read, that learned here, how do you filter leads using Sales Nav? Um, you actually have to buy the subscription. If you do have the subscription, then it's pretty easy. So like if you open your LinkedIn, do you have a subscription, Aaron? Not at the moment. All right. So yeah, you'd need a subscription. These is pretty expensive, but like you can, for for like a little bit of research, if you want to do, you can use this, like these filters. So like people, but the thing is, you can only like do so much, and that's why they have all these, you know, um, yeah, get the trial. That'd be cool, and we can chop it up if you want. We can hop on a call, and I can show you. But it's pretty powerful. Like you'll like that. And then you basically export that list and put it into a software like this, and you'll be good to go. So I wanted to show you. Let me find this where I have the the whole, you know, the layout written down. So yeah, these kind of things. So like the first step is, you pay, personalize it a little bit, put their company name in there. Came across your profile, very impressed with what you guys are doing at company name. Would love to connect. One thing that I also learned was that if you say, "Hey, always looking," so like this line works wonders, and I mentioned that I think in the last chat, last live, that if you write down not even the name, or you can put the name, "Hey, name, always looking for more industry leaders to connect with, would love to connect," or always looking for more industry leaders to add to my network, would love to connect. So now this makes them feel important. Um, and you want to make sure it's kind of also true to some extent. Like everybody likes to feel important, right? So you make them feel important, you make them feel heard, and especially like it works even better when they're creating content. So like if they're active on LinkedIn, it works even better. So you want to give that a shot. And then yeah, so like the most successful campaign was this one: Canada CEOs and co-founders with SaaS interests. So like I put interest as, like there's a column in sales now that you can put in interest, like people talking about SaaS, they will pop up. So in your case, Aaron, it might be realtors. I'm not too sure what your target market is, but I think that's what I saw. So you want to put a little bit of a keyword and just to kind of narrow it down, and then you create a campaign like this. So send a connection request, and then 1 hour after you view their profile, so that they get a net notification that, hey, I'll be looking at your profile. And then it just, so like science says it takes about 13 touch points for them to be able to trust you, and be able to you know just even willing to um, listen to what you have to say. So you definitely want to make those impressions. That's why we have billboards. Like nobody really goes and buys stuff off of the billboards we see, but it's those micro impressions that they make on our mind, and then when we're ready to buy, we're like, huh, this kind of rings a bell. So that's exactly what we're doing here. Uh, you are doing the same thing with the step 2, view their profile, and then also step 3, at 1 hour after you're liking their profile. Now, once they have accepted the connection request, it automatically will send them a message, and that's very important. And this is my message script, and as you can see, it worked pretty darn well. Um, Chance of response 70%. I'll take it. You want to make it like, I like that it just kind of calculates the word count, like how likely are they to respond to you. So this was actually a game changer. I booked so many meetings with this, and like I can't tell you, like this was great. So as soon as they send the request, accept the request, it automatically sends them a message. Hey, I love what you have accomplished with company name. So usually the people you're talking to, let's say if it's a bit like a sales manager, usually they are promoted within the company. So like they started from an account executive, and then they moved up the ranks, and then it's so appropriate to say that, hey, I love what you've accomplished with this company. I'm actually going to move this to this window here. Okay, what are we doing? we're back. This is better. So, yeah, so they love that the fact that you've actually looked into it, even if you haven't. And then it's a very vague thing to say that I find the idea very interesting. It has had my interest for a while now. And it is true because 3 hours later, or whenever you sent that request, as you saw in the campaign, you were liking the recent posts. You were also you were also viewing their profile, which means that you might have also looked at the company profile. So it makes it more personable and makes them think that, hey, you know what? I've got all these notifications. This guy was actually looking into me. So now he's saying that he's been interested for a while. Let's talk. Let's see what he's got to say. And now I would love to connect over a Zoom call to see if we can collaborate in some way. So it's like such a subtle way of asking that, hey, let's hop on a call, no commitment, it's trying to see if we can work with each other, and if we can make things work. And now this you want to top up with a offer that is very good. So like back in the days when we got this all set up, we had a like a money back guarantee, which was stupid. Don't like I'm not a fan of giving money back guarantees. Like if you're doing lead gen for companies, it doesn't really turn out well because and like you're basically counting on their experience of sales and how good they are in closing and their industry, which you might know not of that much. But like if you only deal with one industry, let's say if you only work with mortgage brokers, then you can maybe expect or predict how many calls you're going to be able to transfer to them, how many leads you're going to be able to book for them. But in an industry like mine, so like we don't know how well your product's built, how much people are going to respond to that product because it just varies so much. So be careful when you offer money back guarantee. Um, then the step 5, just follow up. Then maybe send a meetings link. It's like a calendar link. So you see the chances of response 87%. And I think the reason why it's that high is because it's a short message. Think about it. A lot of people use LinkedIn on their phone. And if you write a paragraph, people don't read. Like I don't read myself. Like I don't even read the emails that I send sometimes. I don't even read the emails I receive. Well, so like there's no point writing the whole, paragraph and the whole story about how you got started, how people don't care, especially in this world. You want to keep it as short as you can, and maybe get ChatGPT to write, maybe break it down in the bullet points. But again, ChatGPT, it's a scary trap to fall into because then that messes up your whole tone of the message. Uh, Unlock your your growth, and it's got all those fancy words that you can tell are AI. Cool. So this is like a follow-up message. Now a lot of people didn't book, so I recommend against putting in a calendar link. But instead of putting in the calendar link, you probably just want to add a few steps to follow up. You can also send an email if you have all those emails, which actually I might give that a shot too. Because usually these days emails are so easy to find. So now if you add the next step as, hey, I've been talking to you on LinkedIn, just following up on my LinkedIn message, that could be your subject line. And hey, this is what we do. Make sure it's very sweet and short and sweet and to the point. You can watch the email outreach video that I did, because in that I broke down, how you probably want to make it as short as possible and also make it to the point. And then after you know, put in this email, then the next step also could be, viewing their profile again. So like you keep doing that because you're not manually doing this, right? So you're probably just, I mean, what could you lose? So out of let's look at the data here. So it's liked 274 posts, and I didn't even know that it did that. It's crazy. Like I had no clue that it was liking posts. I had no expectations that it would like posts. It would actually just go back in their profiles and like a post. So software like these are powerful, but mind you, one thing that you want to keep in mind is that it might not even it might, it will get you temporarily blocked from LinkedIn. So these are the kind of things that you want to be careful of. If you go too greedy on automating, your LinkedIn outreach, LinkedIn's going to know and they're going to temporarily block you. So I would get, because I was sending like, so let's take a look in the configuration. Visiting 100 profiles a day, and sending 25. Now that I decreased it, but I was probably at 50, which is terrible. Like if you do it for a week, LinkedIn's got a weekly quota of about 150 connection requests. So you might want to keep that in mind. Maybe just set it to 25 or 20 a day. Now, you're right. It is a slow way of sending connection requests. But again, you're not doing anything. It's doing the work for you. So why worry about that? So yeah, try these kind of software. And I'm sure like if we were to go to AppSumo, let's see if we can find you a lifetime deal. I don't know if Aaron, have you heard about AppSumo at all? Oh, sorry, I just saw your message. What are the limitations between manual and automated in terms of how many messages you can send per day? So that's a great question, and I think that I just hit on that a little bit. Cool, you've used AppSumo. So limitations, there's no limitations in the amount of messages you can send. Like in mails and messages different, right? So like if you're sending in mails, that's that means you're not connected to them, right? So like there's a limit to that, and then if you got a premium, then that limit is bigger. If you got sales nav, then it adds a few more. But in mails, like you can only send like 50 a month or something, but it doesn't take you anywhere. Maybe like you could send, but anyways, the connection request is where it gets tricky. So like if you send too many connection requests, it doesn't matter manual or automated. I think you still get the same type of connection requests, but because the software is actually doing the liking the posts and doing the profiles, all that stuff for you, it's easy for LinkedIn to kind of know that you're using an external piece of code and using that to automate your stuff. So they might track you down. Cool. It doesn't seem like we've got anything going on here. But yeah, I'm sure there are other, you can get a subscription, but this is cool. So I like this a lot. And so that's why I wanted to share this with you, because it's been a life changer for me for the time that I used it. Right now, I'm not using it, but you can see how many requests we've got accepted. It's quite a big number. And we've also got some replies. So it's got an inbox that doesn't really always work. Yeah, the reason why I'm not using it right now is because it got my account I got my account temporarily disconnected or blocked. So I'm giving it a break. Plus, I actually recently set up a campaign and it didn't really work quite well. So as you can see, this is the campaign that I started, and I paused it because it would just not do anything. Maybe it's the way I set up the campaign. Maybe it's a glitch or a bug in the system. I don't know. But it would also just disconnect my account. So like I'd have to reconnect my account like again and again. So that's why I'm like, I don't want to worry about it. Plus, the Also, another great reason why I don't do it anymore is because I don't have that targeted list. I don't use Sales Nav anymore. Um, Sales Navigator is like is very cool, and because you can get to the like so detailed, like you can get to the nitty gritty of that, and that's like it works better when you have Salesforce or SalesNet, because all you have to do is just post that URL link and it does the work for you. Uh, but right now, I'm using an external software to generate leads list. So all those leads are not my target list. So that's why I'm manually going through um, all of those things, all of those people, and disqualifying a lot of people out of that. How many days for a decent campaign? How many days should you let it run till you get a booking? If you're using this software, you just let it run. You just make sure you configure it properly. You don't go too greedy. Um, Maybe set it to like 20 follow-up messages, maybe 18. So like maybe reduce the thresholds a little bit. Um, this way, like you'll be totally fine if you don't go too greedy on it. And honestly, getting a meeting just boils down to your messaging, and you can use this, like, be very subtle. Don't be too salesy, but also make sure that they see the intent, and uh, and you'll be fine. Could you, Aaron, could you tell me again what was your target market? What's your ICP? Okay, maybe you're not hearing it. But anyways, uh, the reason why I was asking was because if you're doing Instagram outreach, which we can do a live on one day, I can help pretty much any business that run ads or has database of leads. I qualify them using AI. Okay, so that's good. So a lot of businesses are running ads. So like you've you've hit it big. So you qualify those leads using AI. That's cool. So now, another thing that you can do, um, that actually gave me a lot of response was doing Instagram DMs. And instead of, I have case studies with real estate investors, insurance, working on e-commerce. Okay, cool. So one thing that, I used to do, I used to have a mortgage agency. So I would do ads for mortgage brokers and stuff. And I got a lot of response when I, instead of asking, hey, would you like to work with me and pay me this money or whatever, I asked, hey, it seems like you're doing pretty well on the content that you're creating on Instagram. First message would be, hey, is this the best place for a question? And then they would mostly respond. And especially the ones that will respond are the ones that are looking for more customers and leads. So it's a good way to go about it, and it's worked pretty good. Um, and then the next message is that, hey, Aaron, you seems like you're doing pretty well on your ads, and I see that you're running some ads and stuff. And I think you must be generating a lot of leads from just that and your content. Do you happen to know somebody? And then you tell them what you do. I help mortgage brokers with their getting more clients and whatever that your uh, pitch is. And then you ask them, do you know somebody who could use more leads? So this way you're not pitching to them, but you're asking them, you're telling them what you do, and then you're asking them if they know somebody who could use more leads. Yet in the first time, they were the ones who replied that, hey, yes, this is the best place for a question. And that means they are looking for more clients. What's a NEPQ? Okay, I have no clue what that is, but I actually so I used to send out. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I just used to. I had no clue. I've read the straight line method like halfway through it, but I didn't finish the book. Um, but yeah, I just basically stumbled upon it, and I sent this message to one person, and I was like, it kind of sounds good. And then I did that again and again, and I got a few trial clients. So that was good. But yeah, so this is the LinkedIn outreach for today. Now I'm gonna go make some calls. Maybe we can do some cold calling one day too. And yeah, that'd be great. Aaron, thanks for joining, brother. You're awesome, and hopefully that helped. And go get your LinkedIn up and running. Cheers.